44th and Burleigh. Theo, what's happening out there?
Well, just now, the second announcement in the last minute coming from the armored car. This one is different, though. This one is not directed at drivers. This one is being directed at the people who are standing here. And conceivably, that person in the white shirt that we've been paying attention to the most, who's been shouting at police from about 5 feet away. They're telling them to go home, that this is unlawful assembly, and threatening them with arrest if they do not comply. And perhaps to reinforce their point, they've moved the bus that we have speculated is for large numbers of arrests. They have moved these people close. They have moved the bus closer, rather, and now the police are starting to move on the people on the corner of the street here at 44th and Burleigh. They're starting to move closer to them. So this is the sort of activity that we heard from A.J. Bayatpour on the other side of Sherman about an hour and a half ago. Well, it's now starting on our side. The police have moved about 20 feet to the west, closer to our position, and they are forcing the people who are here shouting at them back. And most of the people have complied. There were, at the height, probably about 10 minutes ago, about 50 people who were gathered here. Probably half of them or so went home immediately upon that first warning. Oh, and there's a water bottle that's been thrown at a police officer. It was a plastic water bottle, so it didn't do much damage. In fact, it just fell at his feet pretty harmlessly. The police are now moving down 44th, and they are forcing the probably 15 or so demonstrators who have been the loudest throughout all of this. They are forcing them back. And now the armored truck is starting to move in behind the police line. So the police are moving down 44th to the south, 44th toward Chambers, away from Burleigh, forcing the people who have gathered here and who have been taunting back further and further. The people who have been taunting, well, some of them are still taunting, and probably a half dozen or so of them have their hands up now in that familiar pose that we've seen ever since Ferguson, trying to show that they are peaceful. However, they have been shouting, that's for sure. So to go back to about a minute ago, there was a water bottle lobbed at a police officer who was in the middle of Burleigh and 44th. That water bottle I did not see it being thrown, but I did see it flying through the air, and it fell pretty harmlessly at the police officer's feet.
Theo, was there anything in particular that...
I'm just trying to listen in here to what they're saying.
Okay, go ahead and you do that.
You will be arrested.
They are saying once again for the third time in the last 3 minutes or so that it is unlawful to be here, and that they are threatening people who remain with arrest. And again, probably half or so of the 50 people, maybe even more than half, maybe 35 of the 50 people, I would say, complied with that very first request to disperse. They were just the onlookers. They were never shouting at police in the first place. But you had the 15 or so people who were making a lot of noise, and those are the people who have gone less quietly, I guess. And I'm making my way down 44th now. The warning over the loudspeaker has come again for a fourth time now, but they're no longer moving because, very simply, there's no people left to move. They've all taken off and run down the street on 44th. Perhaps to resurface somewhere else? We do not know.
Theo, did you see any arrests in this short little while? Because they were saying that arrests are going to be made.